Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Sphumelele Zondi with your technology and social media news. Today we're coming to you from Point Waterfront in Durban. Remember that if you want to be a part of this tech conversation, it's SABC Network. Now that's on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Our Twitter poll is asking you about digital banking and whether you do banking online. Here's what's coming up in the program. We go to Cape Town to find out about Africa Tech Week. We find out about an app for children. And we are in Durban to talk about 5G technology. Africa Tech Week took place in Cape Town recently. Producer Sandile Hlangani was there.
From apps to social media, doing business in the digital age means staying on top of new trends in technology. But with so many trends to keep track of, it's easy for businesses to get lost in the shuffle. But serial entrepreneurs at this year's Africa Tech Week believe that it pays for startups to keep up with the latest trends in technology, even if they would rather not.
Small medium enterprises are the ones that are more innovative, and the culture in the organizations allow them to try new technologies. And we have tried to court or bring the small medium enterprises in the technology space. In particular, we would like them to come to the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research and to look at how they can take full advantage of these new technologies that we are investing in.
With this being the case, how do startups future-proof their businesses?
All of business needs to appreciate the fact that the world of business is changing in a very significant way. This transformation that we are talking about. And one needs to be able to, in fact, look into the crystal ball and predict what the future will look like, which is very difficult, of course, as you can imagine. But the only way to remain relevant is to continue to innovate and to challenge the status quo, to look at what and if scenarios. Because the one thing that is certain is that the business of today is not going to be the business of tomorrow.
As many people love to call it the hottest contemporary buzzword, entrepreneurship is definitely a rewarding proposition. But launching a startup comes with its fair share of challenges and struggles.
It's important that people are able to actually show the value, the real value. And a lot of people are trying to raise funding by bringing an idea only and not really showing the data. If you show the data, meaning that a customer exists.
Funding is an interesting one. I think in South Africa specifically, the venture capitalists don't really venture. That's the irony. But I think at the end of the day, there's many other inhibitors outside of financial access, you know, so basically it comes down to you as the entrepreneur. So either you're going to make it or you're not, and you need to make those decisions every single day.
Others say startups are good for the economy and employment, so they need support to grow.
This is Technology Innovation Agency. One of our entities that is meant to, its mandate is to be able to fund small entrepreneurs that are in innovation. Because we understand your normal banking sector is not used to funding this type of things because they see them as high risk. They see them because you can't use anything as a basis of success. So we utilized here to be able to support these SMEs.
Collaboration came up as a key issue in the discussion.
Collaboration is incredibly important because if today you can't do anything by yourself, and most interesting things happen when you intersect different areas together. AI with robotics gives you autonomous cars, for example, right? Or cryptography with computing power gives you cryptocurrencies. And so the intersections of those require us to collaborate in very profound ways.
You can't do everything yourselves. I mean, if you look at the biggest, most successful tech companies today, they all work on the sharing economy principle.
Clearly, founding a startup is not a cakewalk. Making it a successful business venture is even a distant achievement, but history is complete with amazing success stories, which is for every entrepreneur to take a cue from.
An app to help parents and children have conversations about topics that would have been found taboo in the past, launched in Johannesburg recently. Lebu Sejake attended the launch of the app.
This might look like any ordinary mobile application for children. However, this is an app with a twist. The Kids Alive app is one that is aimed at making it easier for caregivers and healthcare workers alike to talk about matters relating to the HIV/AIDS pandemic to children.
So the job aid that we developed, it comes in a book form, and they were using it to prepare the caregiver. They were using the same job aid with the child when it's being diagnosed, and we're also using the same job aid with ongoing adherence counseling. So as we all know, things change, and then we realized that even though the children, they like this paper-based job aid, but also now there's technology. So we need to move with the current affairs. So then we took the same job aid that was paper-based, and we digitized it. And what's nice with the app is that it encourages child participation.
Great strides have been made to educate South Africans about the HIV virus, but one can't deny the stigma attached to the chronic disease, which sometimes makes it difficult for adults to talk to young ones about the subject. Aziwe Makulungwana found out that she was HIV positive at age 14. She says that having an app like Kids Alive at the time would have made a difference at the process of her accepting her HIV status.
Well, at my time it was a book, and it kind of helped me a little bit. You know, I didn't really go to classes as much. It was just, you know. But now the app is going to have a huge impact onto the children, because, I mean, it's really based on children, right? It's going to help them grow into a mentality of knowing what is going on in the body, why they like this, and self-acceptance will actually build along the way.
Adopted from a paper-based job kit, the Kids Alive app is an example of the impact of the fourth industrial revolution.
We have a strategic initiative called Qualcomm Wireless Reach. That strategic initiative of ours partners with innovators, with government, with businesses globally to demonstrate how technology can change lives. So this particular project is one of our mHealth Wireless Reach projects. You know, around the strategic goals, the goals of the UN. So we were really keen to support Zoe Life, convert the paper-based systems that they had into user-friendly, interactive tools.
Unlike ordinary mobile apps that are easily downloadable on either Android or iOS, Kids Alive has to comply with child protection standards. For that reason, a screening and registration process must be followed by organizations or individuals interested in utilizing the app.
Let's go to Pretoria now to meet Kim Chulu. He's developed a card-augmented reality game.
The football game is called Disky Skills. It's a game about learning how to play soccer. We have made soccer very minimal. We have basically minimized how the tricks and all the rules of soccer and how you play it. We've minimized it into a card game, which in addition with the application that we have created, which is on the Google Play Store, you can actually see tricks, and we basically teach, or people can learn how to perform certain tricks based on that. So it was all based on the concept of Disky and what's the meaning of it and what it is in the township and how people enjoy the sports and all of that. The game itself started as a card game, which is what is the whole game itself is a card game which you have attack and defense, and you actually play a two-player game, and you can actually play with your friend or challenge your friend, and from there you have all the different strategies that you have in soccer which you need to use for you to be able to defeat your friend when you guys play. So we're now porting that, as we started as a card game, we're now porting it into a digital game which will be played on mobile. But then at this point in time what we have, it's the augmented reality which just enhances the experience of actually how you play the game. So you can collect certain tricks whilst you actually use the augmented reality application by just scanning the images, the illustrations that you have on each card. You are actually able to view what exactly the full video of that illustration is and how to perform that specific trick. You can find the game on the Google Play Store at the current point on the application. You can find out the Google Play Store, or you can also check onto our website, diskiskills.com. And we also quite lucky that we managed to get a store in Atterbury, Value Mart. The store is called Game for All. They are the very first store that agreed with us, made an agreement that they can actually start reselling our cards.
It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. After the break, we chat 5G technology. Stay with us.
Momentum. We're all born with it. No matter where life takes us, Momentum protects us and repairs what's been damaged. Momentum Car Insurance gives you up to 30% cash back on your premiums every year, even if you claim. SMS CAR to 42024 or speak to your financial advisor for a quote. That's why we're here for you.
A royal welcome, please, for a regal southern songstress, Yvonne Chaka Chaka.
When everybody wanted to be doctors and nurses, I stood up and I said I want to be white.
The late Joe Slovo called me the Jewish Zulu.
I think it's very sad these days, for a long while, that a lot of women
blame this on the guys, because this is a plot by the women against the women.
We're socialists. Yes, sure. All of us.
Be intrigued by hitting topics on the couch with people of the South and stay cultivated as they grace you with cultural entertainment at its level best on stage. Make a date with Dali Tambo as he profiles everyone from all walks of life on SABC Encore DSTV channel 156.
Get the facts first.
In 1994, ek dink was ons almal was ook baie excited geweest.
For South Africa, art was never a good thing.
From a footballing point of view, there was never a separation.
Get to the truth.
There's still some serious issues in South Africa.
Maar ek dink die regering kan regtig probeer om harder te werk om
die apartheid in Sutlile ke ke swake batho ba rena ba democracy batho ba batsho se makgowa.
See what it all really means.
Ek is geel want dit is die kleur in die verkeerslig wat vir jou sê wees versigtig.
I still give South Africa a hate.
We are somewhere in between.
We're giving our democracy a green for sure. We're very happy.
Democracy Gauge, weekdays at 5:30 on SABC News, channel 404.
It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Welcome back. Now we're at the Point Waterfront in Durban, just outside Innovate Durban, where I'll be going inside to have a conversation with Nkululeko Mthembu about 5G technology. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, what is 5G technology?
Technology is just that. It's a digital online network. Essentially what it means is you've got a funnel, and imagine that you're sending packets of data through this funnel. 5G technology is usually a step up from what we've experienced and what we currently have in our infrastructure. So we're looking at 2G, 3G technologies and 4G. And what 5G really is faster network and with less latency. I mean, if we really to get technical about it, we're looking at packets of data that are sent between the spectrum of anything between 700, 800, and all the way through up to 2,600 gigahertz.
Do you think the general public generally understands what the differences between 2G, 3G, 4G and 5G are?
not as from a user perspective, and this is the user experience, I think they actually experience that latency and speed. But as to specifically say that it's 3G, 4G, or even 5G, I think that's where consumers and really users of mobile devices have trouble articulating that clearly.
How is 5G going to help us?
I think a lot of things, it's about speed. What they say, speed is the ultimate competitive weapon in business. And when we start looking at that, I think we start looking at how processes are moving quicker. And I mean, when you start looking at the actual structure of 5G technology and what it does, so you're sending audio packets, you're sending media packets, you're sending photographs, and what you're opening up is a bag of worms. And what that means is that people are able to experience content quicker, they're able to experience content clearer, they're able to actually experience content that is high defined. So from that point of view, when you're looking at a 5G network and how people can experience technology differently, I think that speaks to the quality of technology.
Rain has said they're launching the first 5G networks in South Africa. How will they do this?
I think South Africa is in a very tricky space, right? Because we're a first world country in a third world context. And when you start looking at issues surrounding infrastructure and ability to roll out these emerging and frontier technologies, it becomes quite challenging. Now, what Rain has done essentially is taken first move advantage in an industry that is heavily regulated, that is virtually unknown. What I understand of what Rain is doing is that they currently have I think it was last year where they had they tested 2 pilots, and they did this in Cape Town. And looking at some of the CTO, in fact, did a live demonstration of upload and download speeds, and we actually saw incredible speeds out there.
So why are they launching it in Johannesburg and Cape Town? Why not other places?
It's the challenge of South Africa, right? So whenever you look at technology, you always have to look at the ecosystem, right? So from a user perspective, you're experiencing technology on a mobile device, and then you extend that ecosystem into a home and an office environment where we start looking at mobile routers and portable routing systems. And then we look at industry, which is the top end. This is where we start looking at PDA systems, and this is where we start looking at how enterprises are set up. The reason why technology, or rather the ability to communicate, is experienced more in urban dwellings is the ability to roll out infrastructure quite quickly. Now, this is also an advantage of 5G technology, is that when it sends packets of data through the funnel, you're able to actually retain the content and the packets that are sent through this data stream. And what you find, and through actually some practical tests, is that you can put this in more outlying areas and still experience decent speeds.
We've heard the likes of Huawei, Samsung, and LG saying that they are already launching 5G phones.
Yeah, definitely. And then it's the border question, right? To then say this is South Africa as a closed circuit. And now what does SADC look like? What does Southern Africa look like? And believe it or not, I mean, you've got some major firms that are listed on our stock exchange that are selling their second-hand equipment across borders. And then we start expanding on the case of what 5G technology looks like in an African context, right? Because then on the other hand, you've got the African Union that's advocating for a connected market, and with that you've got size and you've got scale and you've got mass in the market. So there's a lot to leverage on when you're looking at such technologies.
Good day, Tim. Thank you very much for being a part of our network.
Cool, thank you.
All right.
This is Mo Flavor from the Afternoon Drive on Metro FM, and you may think that maybe a microphone is my favorite piece of technology, maybe my headphones. No, it's a drone. You know that thing that flies around? It's got a camera and you can take cool shots whether you are at a party or in a sports field. The drone for me is one of my coolest, and I've actually got one. It's pretty cool.
Complicated cases. Your
black friends might be running this country, but I'm still the government of Bataruk.
The poor child.
This kid was electrocuted by your fence.
Sorry, it's his own fault.
I put it to you that you have a personal interest in this case.
Under Section 300 of the Criminal Procedures Act 51 of 1977.
I urge the court to find in favor of the plaintiff.
The court finds the accused guilty.
Dedicated lawyers dig to the bottom and everyone gets peace. It's a pleasing judgment and it's justice for all on SABC Anko, DSTV channel 156.
Yo, Leroy!
Maziwe. keep it smooth.
Mama, you know I love you. You know I love you.
Hip hop, the whole hip hop culture.
Don't worry about a thing.
International music. Local is lekker. Hey, Studio Mix DSTV channel 156 on SABC Encore.
SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Welcome back. Here's what took place in the rest of the tech space in the rest of the world.
Women have long relied on dating apps to find romantic partners, but many now are going online to seek another special someone. A friend. Friend finding apps such as Bumble BFF and Girl Crew are becoming more popular with women, many of whom work remotely or move around the globe for career pursuits.
I swiped and we matched, which was great. And then we kind of had a few messages between each other. And then we met really quickly and had a really, really amazing night and lots of fun. And very quickly I thought to myself, yeah, this could be a good girlfriend for me.
Loneliness is a global challenge. Nearly half of Americans say they sometimes or always feel alone or left out. According to a 2018 Cigna and Ipsos study, Britain last year appointed a minister for loneliness to address the social isolation felt by more than 1 in 10 people in the country. So why not swipe right to find friends? Talking about sisters having fun, Britain's Queen is an Instagram hit with her first post. Queen Elizabeth published her first post on the royal family's Instagram page on Thursday, March 7th, to celebrate the visit to the Science Museum, according to a tweet from the royal family Twitter account. The 92-year-old monarch posted on Instagram about a letter in the royal archives written to her great-great-grandfather Prince Albert from Charles Babbage, the pioneer of the computer. Not too long after posting, it got over 34,000 likes and generated more than 600 comments. Now moving on to India. The country's parliamentary panel on Wednesday asked Facebook and its other social media platforms to make sure there is no foreign interference in upcoming nationwide elections.
We have asked them to ensure that these platforms are not used to divide the society, incite violence or verbal abuse, pose threat to India's security, and to ensure to stop any foreign interference in elections in India, which is the largest democracy in the world. We have asked them to ensure all this so that there is no misuse of such platforms and there is no bias.
We're very grateful to the Honorable Parliamentary Committee for giving us the opportunity to come and share how we're preparing for the Indian election and helping keep people in India safe on our platforms.
Facebook, WhatsApp and Twitter have overhauled policies to boost transparency ahead of general elections and rein in misinformation.
With more digital banks coming to South Africa, this week our Twitter poll is asking you if you bank online. Now 30% of respondents say they only bank online. There is 50% of you who say you bank online and you also do physical banking. We also have 14% of you who say you only bank physically. And then there's 6% who say they don't have bank accounts. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. It's a news network at sabc.co.za on email. From me and the rest of the team right here at Point Waterfront in Durban. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
men must stand together with all women and say, we are not going to do this in our name. And most importantly, the good men should call each other out. When your friend, someone that you know is abusing and they are bragging about it, as a good man, don't just listen, don't be a bystander, but do something about it.
Watinti mbogodo